Sure. All right. So jumping into our next game here, it will be a tier 1 game now. This is a PvT. We have PsyonicReaver, who has already done some casting for the league. Some of you may know him or should know him by now. He also hosted the PAATL league was it last year?
Yeah, it seems
yeah,
about right.
Okay. And which was a lot of fun. I mean, we played a bit in it, so. And he's just been around StarCraft community for quite a while, helping out, doing some casting. So.
Yeah, he's casted in the past.
Yeah, decent.
He's been around quite a while.
Yeah, decent Protoss player. And we have our Terran player Fox, or kakaonib. He was tier 2 last season, but a lot of people, or B team I should say, last season a lot of people were saying he's pretty good. And should be moved to A team, so we do have him in tier 1 right now. I mean, I agree. I've played him a few times. He's beaten me, so I feel like he's definitely a good tier 1 candidate.
Cool.
All right, and this is a matchup we're both familiar with, obviously. Protoss side for me, Terran side for you. So I'm looking forward to these series.
Sweet.
All right, I'll let you introduce whichever player you want first. How's that?
Okay. On the bottom right, my favorite race, Protoss. PsyonicReaver, the white Protoss.
How did I know that was coming? All right, so and in the top left we have our brown Terran player kakaonib, aka Fox.
Your favorite race, Terran.
Oh yeah, my favorite race to play against anyway. Being a Protoss player. All right, so
you're lying to yourself. Just lying to yourself.
You think
You're
my favorite's there?
You're a Terran player at heart.
No, I mean I have done a little bit of Terran practice.
No, God, no, please.
Playing against some Protoss players in CPL tier 3 or tier 2 players, and I mean I've been winning some of those Terran games, so not too bad. I could maybe join as a tier 2 Terran player, but no, definitely a Protoss player.
Oh, get over yourself.
Wow, what? Tsagi hand. You got the Tsagi race.
Tsagi.
Anyway,
yeah, it's soggy. It's soggy in the hands. All right, so what do we got going here? We got it's still an early game.
Basic,
you know.
Everything
we're
standard.
like 12 next now, or we have to wait a little bit longer for what they're choosing to do. You know, you do a zealot first. I think zealot pressure is always good, and this map makes it pretty easy too, because you know where they are.
Yeah, it looks like we are going to see a 12 Nexus at a Psionic here.
Right
no
on.
gateway down yet. Sending that probe maybe a little bit early, but whatever. Rather be there a few seconds early than a few seconds late. Gonna go ahead and throw down that Nexus here right at 12. There it is. And okay, he's not gonna go scout. He's just gonna, feeling confident, he's just gonna mine some minerals here.
You know the sound a Nexus makes when you put it down?
What?
It's boop, boop, boop.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sure, I'm sure. Sure it does.
So there's variations you can do when you defend the 12 next, right? You can do like a faster goon style. I'm not exactly sure the builds, but I've seen, you know, anywhere from 1 zealot to 3 zealots, 4 goons.
Yeah.
And because my micro is not excellent, actually, you know, it depends. Like sometimes I find the many zealots and you're trying to pressure the Nexus makes it harder. But then if they get the goons in, you know, it's all very hard actually if you're trying to bunker rush it, no matter what variants to do. I don't really know which one I prefer to play against, to be honest.
Well, killing that SCV pretty quick. But kakaonib is going to be aware of this. We'll have to see what his response is, if he's going to go and pressure this Nexus.
You don't 12 next often, right?
Not too often. I have done it. I'm not as comfortable with the 12 next builds. But I do know there are a few variations. Like some people will get the Zealots first. That's why I kind of like the Scout. You kind of see, okay, is Terran going for some early pressure? Do I need to get those units out right away? Do I need to get the second gateway sooner? Or can I go ahead and just tech up and get Dragoons and be fine, right?
Yeah.
So it does look like a bit of pressure coming out from kakaonib. Not a hard commit here, just with the 3 SCVs. You definitely see some, like even at pro level, you'll see the pros pull like a bunch of SCVs, like half of their SCVs or something, you know, with a few Marines just kill the next.
I think if it's sooner, Like if you scout it first, scout, you can do fewer SCVs.
Okay.
Because they'll have less, right?
Okay.
And it's always nice to do that. It's nice to pressure with like 4 or 5 SCVs because your commitment is way less.
All right, so we'll see if he can hold this. He's pulling all his probes right away here.
Yeah, and he's pulling from the main. This is actually not good. I don't like this response from Psionic because he's throwing away all his mining time right now.
Yeah, he's got like nothing he's got 1 probe mining the whole thing. So he's not going to be able to build any more units than what he's got. I mean, I understand not wanting to die to this, but it's a really hard commit. He does manage to get all the SCVs, so I don't think this is going to work, but just pulling all these probes, forcing all these probes to be pulled, did a fair bit of damage to him.
Yeah.
More than I think needed to.
Yeah, so, I mean, I think that was an overreaction. Typically, just use the probes that you have at your net. But, I mean, if you don't feel comfortable, then at least you start somewhere, right?
Yeah.
And then you start cutting down on what you use for defense.
Yeah. We do have a Vulture coming in now, and there's no units here, no Dragoon ready, so this Vulture should be able to actually get a lot of probes, if micro correctly. 1 going down right away, and he actually has some mines done as well. So
yeah, and this is a perfect illustration of, okay, I'm not mining anymore, and I don't have Dragoons, so
yeah.
Whoops.
It's so... He does have a couple Dragoons that are going to be popping out very shortly here, but had he not pulled so many probes to defend that and kept the mining, he may have been able to get those Dragoons out just in time to counter this Vulture and not have lost any more probes. So you can kind of see how that snowball effect works, right? He pulled all those extra probes, his Dragoons are late, so the Vulture can come in and get extra probe kills. Whereas if he didn't pull that many probes, he would have had those Dragoons on time to defend that first Vulture.
Yeah.
And be in a much better position.
So he's done really well. Like he got the Vulture, the mine. He managed to put on pressure with limited commitment. He's got the CC going, so everything's looking pretty good there.
Yeah.
I liked Psionic's build except for the probe reaction.
Yeah, I would agree with that. He did hold on to his Nexus here though, so that's always good. You don't. I mean, even if you lose that, you can kind of come back in the game.
Oh. Yeah.
But holding on to that is definitely a win. Taking a little too much damage, yeah. Both those Dragoons really low, that one with 5 HP there. Almost going down. Don't want to lose those early, but keeping them alive is good. Looks like kakaonib is going to try and sneak another Vulture around and maybe get a few more probe kills, knowing that Psionic is having his Dragoons out on the map here.
Yeah, and it's a little dangerous having them this far out. There's no obs. Yeah, so I don't know what he's planning on doing. Ooh, oh. And like you said, you can do a backstab with the Vultures too. Which is probably better to just keep them at home until you have an obs.
Yeah, I would agree. Like, especially because he didn't know if there were mines on the map. Maybe if kakaonib had snuck out a Vulture and put mines out in the middle of the map while he was walking the Dragoons across, they would have just ran into mines and died, right?
Yeah. And like taking a third now, I feel he's gonna stretch himself out.
Yeah, like
really thin.
He's not mining from his natural at the moment. He pulled all those probes. So he's hurting himself economically. Like, it's still good. He got the 12 next. He was able to make a lot of probes from it. But he's stretching himself.
He's got to do something. Like he's thinking, I have to do something to, because he's in a lot of trouble.
And is that something maybe Dark Templar?
Yeah.
Got the Templar archives coming down with no Stargate or anything in sight, so I will expect to see Dark Templar. And I know he plays, like Psionic plays a little bit different. He's an old school player, so he may have different styles from today's meta. Like, obviously people still do 12 next, or still do some follow-ups like this, but he may not know what would be considered the most meta or standard today. But he still plays fine. Meta. But no, he's getting up that third base pylon, blocking it, which I like. You know, stopping those pesky Vultures from running by. But again, his natural is undefended here. So kakaonib continuing to get these Vultures in and killing probes, forcing Psionics to pull probes.
So satisfying.
What are you talking about?
To get probes.
Listen to every probe death. It sounds so sad. It's like, boom. It just sounds so sad. I know they're like robotic units and stuff, but like it just sounds so sad that they're dying. Don't you feel for the poor probes? They're just so innocent, just mining
It
minerals.
sounds like a little sheep or something that you just like shot with a pellet gun or something.
No. Yeah, don't you feel sorry for the poor sheep? Stop hurting them.
I do now that I think about it that way.
Yeah. There you go. So no
I'm a
more.
proud PETA member.
So no more killing probes with vultures, right?
Nah,
Stop the genocide.
kill all the probes.
All right. So like, because kakaonib's been able to keep getting these vultures in, the saturation, despite being like a 12x, getting that early double probe reduction, is still pretty low here for Psionic. He's been forced to keep running his probes, and he's lost a lot. So I like kakaonib's position here better. Like, he's even ahead in supply. The one thing Psionic does have going for him is he is going to have some Dark Templar out. I don't see any at the moment. He had that done for a while. Okay, he's starting to build some now. So he was going to have some Dark Templar on the map, which can catch the Terran off guard. Terran does have a couple of scanners, so should be okay. But if the Terran ends up using up all those scanners, or a DT sneaks in and the Terran doesn't notice, they could do a lot of damage to some of the Terran's units.
Yeah, like the way I mean, he hasn't even got Arbiter tech, so I don't know how he can. Like, he's gonna have to get like crazy stasis and like kill a base, or hope that Terran's passive and maybe take another base, try to get ahead that way.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's still 20. Terran's still 20 supply ahead. So, I mean, the other alternative, I guess, is just storm drops, try to damage the eco. I think you kind of got to get desperate at this point.
Yeah, it looks like he is moving these Dark Templar out now. So maybe he'll do something, kill off some SCVs. If he finds his third base, there is a mine there. He's going to run the... if he runs this Dark Templar across the bridge, he's just going to find himself in a bunch of mines. He's scouting to see if the Terran has that third gas base over here. Nothing there. Oh, meanwhile, kakaonib is moving a pretty sizable army here across to punish the third, and what does Psionic really have to defend this? Like, he's got more tanks than Psionic has the Dragoons at this moment.
That's not nice to say.
Yeah, that's not something you want to see. You need, and Fox being smart here, putting these mines, kind of slowing the Dragoon for... Oh, and those mines going off on those Dragoons too. That's very painful. Very nice positioning. So he's just going to lose all of these Dragoons before he even gets up to the tanks here. Only getting one shot off on the tanks. This third base is going to go down, and like Psionic's just in a terrible position here. Losing all of those probes.
Yeah, this is crazy. Just how far ahead he got from that early 12 next attack. The pressure on the 12 next.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that third nexus is going down, and yeah, I mean, you can see Fox is like double the supply of Psionic here. Psionic is spamming some Dark Templars, hoping to maybe catch the Terran without any scans and clean up this army, trade really efficiently. And honestly, that's about his only option at this point. Like, Terran's just so far ahead. He's comfortably mining from 3 bases. Psionic is trying to take this bottom left base at the same time, but it looks like it's about to maybe get scouted out here by this vulture. Yeah, Fox is just in a really great position.
Yeah, Fox got a pretty high float there. His science facility's just coming up now. His spending could be a little bit better. He was focused on the push. I appreciate that. Yeah. But yeah, if you ramp up faster, then you finish the game faster.
Yeah. I hear a vulture. I didn't see where it was firing. Okay, so he is going to scout this bottom left base now. And I kind of expect, Fox to move out and either go kill it or just honestly move and kill the Protoss. Psionic is bringing a bunch of Dark Templar here into the middle of the map. Maybe trying to catch some units and do some damage that way. But it's not looking good for him. I think these Dark Templar probably aren't going to find the damage they're looking for, and kakaonib's just going to be able to run over Psionic here very shortly.
Yeah, and I was wondering how long that base on 3 o'clock was going to live, because, sometimes you overlook things, like you're in the middle of the game, a lot of things are getting your attention, and one base goes unscanned or something, right? Yeah. But in this case, Psionic got unlucky. Fox was on top of it. He was on top of all the bases. and he was able to punish it. So that's good to see.
Now we have this massive army just coming across here from Fox, and we got 1 DT trying to defend it. 1 DT, 1
Hero.
Zealot, and 3 Dragoons.
Swipe.
And the DT goes down. Yeah, this is not near enough units to defend it. I would expect this is pretty much the end here for Psionic. He really has no units on the main, and there he calls it GG.
Right on.
GG, mate. Well played, mate.
Stuck through it. You know, tried a few things to get back, but that early pressure damage was just too much.
Yeah, maybe hoping he could have got something done with those DTs. I mean, if you catch the full Terran army not watching Terran not watching his whole army out in the middle of the map, those DTs just kill like all your tanks. Well, all of a sudden you find yourself back in the game. But Fox played really well. He was on top of that, and he managed to take game number 1 there.
Yep. So this is just for anyone joining us, week 2 of the CPL Preseason, CPL Season 3, and Tier 1 right now, right?
Yeah. So this is a Tier 1 game, the first week 2 CPL cast. For those who don't know, CPL, Coach Pupil League. Still in the preseason. If you do want to join up, you can either message myself or Python. Yeah, there you go.
Best league in the world. Best league in the
Dark
world.
Matter approved. There you go.
And it's the 3rd season. That's great. It's a great number 2.
Yeah, number 3. Just like the number of players on this map, a 3-player map. This was chosen by Psionic. It's, I mean, this map is definitely good if you want to do something aggressive early on as Protoss. I like it for that. Hello, Sugo. Sorry, Sugo. Hi, Sugo. So, we may as well jump into the game here. We can talk a little bit more about it. I do like this map for playing something aggressive, like doing a 2-gate or a 10-15 gate or something like that.
Yeah.
Just because the Terran does start on the low ground there. As a Protoss, you can kind of hold up above the ramp, which will be up here with your Dragoons, and it makes it just harder for Terran to take the expansions, kind of secure their bases. But as it gets later into the game, the Terran gets out on the map, it might be a little bit easier for Terran when they can kind of hold all their bases there together. What do you think about that?
Yeah, the thing with this map is the close third is nice. If you can control the low ground, like there's 2 kind of main areas that you can come out of the base. There's a small ramp, and then there's like the larger ramp on the, depending on which base you're in. We can see it later. But if you control the low ground there as Terran, Protoss can't really move out. So that's kind of a nice tactical thing to do on this map.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I don't mind it.
Yeah, and because this was Psionic's choice, I do expect him to do something maybe a little aggressive, and we actually see him doing a forward pylon here at the front of his base. So imagine we'll see probably 1 gateway here and to some early Zealot pressure.
Yeah, this is good. I like the forward gate. This is good because if you do enough damage, then you can take on, you could own the top of the ramp. I don't know how to say it, but what I like to do as Terran is the bunker siege expand, and you're seeing it more often because there's reverse ramp maps and stuff like that. So it's safer than the rack CC.
Okay.
But you get the command center around like 23, 24. So it's still a pretty fast command center. You don't have to wait for. It's basically the command center before the tank, and then you get the tank, and you cut SCVs for a little bit.
So it's basically a little safer on these ramp maps with maybe a reverse ramp or something. You get your stuff a little bit later, but you're still soon enough, and you're a bit safer against anything overly aggressive.
Yeah, like 10, 15.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've definitely faced that sometimes. Okay. So we did see a gas steal here coming out from Protoss. Nice little move. It's kind of forces the Terran to hold off on his gas. It looks like he's probably going for that Rox FE build here. Anyway, so it's not the biggest deal in the world, but I would like to see him maybe try and start killing that off with an SCV or 2.
Yeah. So I don't know if this just kind of doesn't really matter because he's already been planning this. What could be a bit dangerous is that there's no SimCity at the NAT, so he's gonna have to pull some SCVs and block the Zealot.
Yeah, we do have the first Zealot coming across now. We'll have to see what he can get done with it. There's only one Marine at the moment, and it's chasing around the probe. kakaonib feeling pretty confident. I guess there's no early pressure not having scouted the Protoss, but he's about to see the Zealot, and yeah, instantly making some more, queuing up some more Marines, knowing, okay, I've got to deal with this right away here now.
Yeah, let's see what his reaction is like. He's pulling a few SCVs, so I like that. Yeah, so this is very, very tough as a Terran. Especially as the number of Zealots starts piling on, but it looks like he's going for a Goon right after. So that's nice for him.
Yeah, this is something I like to do. I'm sure you know, making that first Zealot. It kind of like puts on some early pressure to the Terran. Sometimes they're not ready for it. You can get a lot of damage done. Or even if they are ready, you kind of force them to spend their attention on the Zealot. Like they have to either micro their Marines or pull back and be worried, oh, there's a Zealot or more coming. You know, it just kind of adds that little bit extra pressure to Terran in the early game.
Yeah, you can even see the idle SCVs right now, so it's kind of just setting you back.
Probe getting a Marine kill there and then running out. Nice little pick off there.
I think it's kind of like Muta Micro, like SCV versus, Marines versus Zealot, something you gotta practice.
Yeah, for sure. Zealots are pretty tough units, so if you're not ready for it, for sure, you're gonna take a lot of damage. Meanwhile, first Dragoon is gonna start picking away at this barracks, and a couple of Marines are gonna finally start taking out this gas. But like his factories are gonna be so delayed because of this too. Like he still has 0 gas. Meanwhile, we have Dragoons already coming out from Psionic.
Yeah, great job keeping the SCV there. You got I don't know if it was the second SCV or the first SCV scout, but it just got killed. And that gave him information. He didn't see a Nexus. He saw 2 gates. Okay. So he could play a little bit safe, I think, now. So we'll see how he responds to that.
Yeah, so he should be thinking some kind of tech build coming out of Protoss then. Either Reavers or DTs, and as we can see, it is going to be some Dark Templar here. Getting that Templar Archives out right now. So I like this. He's continuing to put on the pressure, and if kakaonib isn't ready, like, we don't see an engineering base started yet, or if factory's going down, so he won't have mines anytime soon. He's not going to have engineering bay anytime soon.
Yeah, his gas is really late. That's one thing for sure. And his factories. It's because typically you'd want to build your gas at your NAT, but his CC got delayed and he never put his SCV back on it, so it's a little bit slower than you'd want. I think he's fine with the bunker and if he gets an eBay up, but I don't see an eBay right now.
I am getting a little worried for him though. But yeah, like you said, there is no eBay up, and the first Dark Templar is on the way. He is only making 1, so kakaonib can maybe stall a bit of time and not necessarily die to this. But if he doesn't get any detection here soon, it's going to be pretty painful for him.
Yeah, and I think it takes about a minute exactly for the eBay and the turret to finish. So if you start an eBay, you got about a minute if you build a turret just as it finishes.
Okay,
yeah, so he's pretty much out of time.
Yeah, there is an academy getting started now, but there's still going to be a little bit of time before the first scans are ready. Before you can build the concept and get the first scans. He is throwing down an engineering bay now. This DT should be able to find a little bit of damage. I don't think it's necessarily going to kill Fox here, but it could definitely disrupt him quite a bit. Well, see, DT's coming in right now.
Ouch. Yeah, this is going to hurt.
Oh, so kakaonib does notice right away. Good reaction. He's going to lose these Marines still, but okay. He's just got to buy some time here now. He just wants to get that detection right away. That's his game plan. Like, I need that detection. Detect these Cape boys.
Yeah, and there's nothing else coming from the gates. From
well, this is actually a lot of damage here so far. 12 kills on this one DT. 13. Psionic feeling it, sending in another DT, maybe feeling a little adventurous, wanting to put on some more pressure, but he doesn't have really enough units. And this is actually doing a lot more damage than I thought it was going to do.
Yeah, and once the scans are done, he can run. There's not really a lot. There's a tank and a vulture.
So he does have the scans done.
Good scan.
He does get the 1 Dark Templar. 3 kills on it.
Probably get the second one there. He's got to get a turret at the NAT.
That first one got 16 kills. So that was well worth it. Like, a lot of damage there from Psionic. Meanwhile, he is throwing down a third Nexus. And, oh, he's getting a shuttle now with this as well. I wonder if we're going to see maybe some storm drops, or if he's just going to drop some DTs in the main, probably.
Badass, man.
Oh, that shuttle is
looking for damage.
Yeah, that shuttle's flying across, but it doesn't have the units in it at the moment. Okay, he's coming back for them now.
To Karashio.
There are no turrets in the main. Okay, there's one up here near the ramp. But if he drops them in the mineral line, there's not a lot here. He is going to have 2 scans by the time this hits. But Psionic, if he's on top of it, he can pick those up when the scans happen. And wait till the time runs out and then just drop them again.
Yeah, this is why I like the fast armory as well, because not only is it good against Reavers, it's also good against the shuttle, right? With DT drops, because if they get your turret, then they could just lift off on the scans.
Right, there's one of the scans.
Yeah. So it makes it like DT drops can be pretty painful if they get your turrets.
Yeah, man, these DT drops have been amazing though. Like these DTs of Psionic have done so much damage to Fox in these games. This game. Oh, okay, he does clean that last one up. Just
he needs to be a little bit more careful with that.
Oh, and here come 2 more.
That turret. Oh, more drops. But yeah, I like the persistence. He's keeping Fox honest. He's got to be defensive. He's got to focus on this, getting mining time out. Meanwhile, he's comfortably, good on his pro production at all 3 bases. Probably moving up to Stargate soon. So he's looking pretty good. Yeah,
one thing, he doesn't have a lot of units behind. Like, he's just continuing to ferry these 2 Dark Templar at a time. So if kakaonib is able to stabilize here and continues to build up his units, it does open an option for him to kind of push and put some pressure on before this third base kind of kicks in. We do have a couple more gateways started now, but he doesn't have a lot of units necessarily. So Psionic will have to look up from that if this pressure ever does stop and he is able to get on the map.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's like, I think his eco hasn't really kicked in. I'd be scanning as Terran and seeing, only 4 gates and still feeling pretty comfortable. Like, I'd be looking to take a third.
Hey guys, thanks for the follows. All right. But okay, another DT drop coming in. Just one DT this time. Like, kakaonib's doing pretty good against this now. Like, yes, I would say he's behind a little bit.
Like that's been a lot of DTs. That's been like 7
but
DTs
yeah, Psionic has spent a lot on these DTs, and they're not really doing anything anymore. So they're kind of like helping maybe kakaonib catch up a little bit more just by spending all that money on the DTs and not producing a lot of units at home. Like, as you can see, he just has these 4 Dragoons and a couple of Zealots coming out now. kakaonib has...
He needs to be thinking about the next step, right? So, like, after the massive damage at the Nat, and then maybe with the drop, which was a nice idea, then go to the next step, which is Arbiter Tech.
Yeah.
But now you're kind of letting Terran catch up because he's already ready for...
Yeah. Well, Terran had quite a few units here. Like, when Psionic only had 4 Dragoons, Fox here had enough army that if he pushed across the map, he could put on a lot of pressure, and Protoss wouldn't really have a lot to deal with it. Maybe he could delay with some Dark Templar. Like, we can see 1 Dark Templar on the ramp here to kind of try and delay, which is, I like, great move. I mean, anything to slow down the push. Oh, and he may even get this tank here too. Oh, 1 hit from death. But Psionic is continuing to take some more bases. Looks like he's going to go up to a 4th base, maybe?
Yeah, so Fox just scanned the top of the what do you call that, ramp there. So I don't mind that. He's kind of like sizing him up, seeing where he's trying to figure out where he is army-wise in comparison to Psionic. And I think he's decided that he's in a good enough position to push out, like you were saying.
Yeah, and I don't mind this. Thanks for the follow there, Sure Whizzle. The only problem I feel like with this is he gave the Protoss a lot of time. Like, if he moved out a minute sooner, when Protoss only had 4 Dragoons, like I was saying, it would have done a lot more, but the Protoss has had time now to kind of build up that unit count, and he's just gonna, he's just easily pushing this back from kakaonib now.
Yeah, this is the aggressive option that he took. and I disagree with it because it's hard to know after taking harassment damage, unless you're certain, you know, where you are. So it's probably safer, especially with the defensive advantage with siege tanks, to take a third and then do like a fast push after that if you want to do that. Especially if he had scanned and seen the late Stargate, you can kind of delay your Science Fest attack and add more factories.
Yeah, so he is going to go ahead and take this third base. The command center just floating over there now. Meanwhile, Psionic is taking his fourth base. So both staying on top of expanding, something you would expect from players of their level. We do have the Arbiter Tribunal started and Stasis being researched. So I would expect to see an Arbiter started very shortly. Oh, he's actually supply blocked from it, as it is force supply. I still like Psionic's position a little better here. I mean, okay, yes, he maybe threw away a few too many Dark Templar there, and he didn't have a lot of units, got his production going a little bit slower. But because of that move out and not being able to do anything, losing those units, and Psionic was able to get his third base going, his production going. Although, if he throws away a bunch of units here, this could be pretty bad for him.
Could you turn off Psionic's vision for a sec? You can see that. What Fox? Oh, here comes an attack. Ooh. No, this is not good.
Oh, okay.
This is not good.
Okay,
that's
so
blue. That's that's blue goo. That's ice cream sandwich.
I hate seeing the blue go. So forget what I just said. All of a sudden, it's the other way around. All of a sudden now, like I like kakaonib's position a lot better. Like Psionic threw away a ton of supply, just attacking up, trying to attack up these ramps into a Terran defensive position. And like as I've told some other Protoss players I've been teaching, like
I think what happened here is that, like strategically, yeah, that was a good move. But look at the float on Psionic. So I think you're just missing the macro on that attack. Maybe that attack does work with the right army, which he could have had, but maybe it was just a matter of execution there. Yeah,
so maybe if he had a couple more gates out sooner, a few more zealots in with that, and a little bit more coordinated attack, maybe. But like I've been telling, like I said, some of the people I've been helping in CPL already in Protoss versus Terran, like you generally don't want to attack into a defensive Terran position unless you know for sure you've got like overwhelming numbers, because they're pretty defensive with these siege tanks, especially when they set up walls or when they're up like little ramps like this. Like it's generally just a better idea to avoid attacking.
He had a great idea. He had the shuttle. He had, but he was missing, I think, probably another control group of goons, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and uphill, like you said, you're taking a bit of a risk. Like he has been up a base a good amount, and he felt like he's done a lot of damage. He got a couple tanks when that move out that failed. So he was thinking, okay, you know, here's my chance to get a little bit further ahead, maybe take out the third base. It just didn't work out in that case.
That was a bad trade, and like now we can see the supplies are almost even, which is generally good for Terran in this situation. But he does have his first Arbiter out, and Arbiters can definitely change the game.
Yeah, Arbs are strong. Every Terran hates playing against Arbiters. It's triggering.
Oh, come on, they're not that bad. Without Arbs, it'd be a pretty hard match.
I can barely even say the word. I can barely even say it.
It hurts you to even say the word?
Arbit. But yeah, so what we'd like to see a little bit more is more mines on the map. This is great. This is good to slow down. Good little, cute little move here. From Fox, I'd like to see more mines on the map. You see that big blotch in the middle. But if you can do more, understand. Nice.
Those mines got a lot of kills. So, yeah. No, going on with what you were saying. Thanks for the follow, by the way, Fox. If he did have a bunch of mines everywhere and Protoss doesn't have obs with their armor, just carelessly runs a bunch of zealots around, then you can get a lot of free damage on the Protoss army or just kill a bunch of units. And that's always a win for Terran, right?
Yeah, I like this fourth that he's taken too. It's kind of an extension of the third. Sometimes you can take that bottom third if you're in a good position, and it's nice because it's got the gas. But in this case, he took the mineral only, and now he's going to the I guess you call that 11 o'clock.
Well, we do have a gas here at this base he's taking now, which is good, which will allow him to start producing more tanks. Although he does actually have a fair number of gas banked up at the moment. Supplies are even. We do have Psionic going up, getting his 5th base up now,
What do you
and
think
setting
about
some more
recall
gates.
on this map?
I like it. Like,
Seems like there's a pretty good space around there, eh? Like it's kind of tough.
there's
Like,
there's
on that top left there, the 3rd and 4th bases seem kind of exposed.
yeah. So you can into the main. There's a lot of places you can fly in with your Arbiter, either just from down here at the bottom or over on the side. Like, there's a lot of area to cover with turrets and mines and stuff. Or as you were saying, you could have an Arbiter fly into the top and just recall up here. You'd get in position of this high ground. It'd be hard for Terran to defend, trying to get up that ramp, or flying in and just recalling the 3rd. Like, there's definitely a lot of options for Protoss to abuse recalls when going into the late game here.
Yeah, lots of like space, right, to move around and fly around.
Yeah, for sure. Psionic is max now. We do see the 180 army for Terran with the 2-1 upgrades, which is where you want to be.
Upgrades.
Which is pretty
How's
strong.
Protoss upgrades doing here?
202, so
2-0. Nice.
pretty good upgrades for Psionic. Staying on top of that. I know that's something I sometimes forget to do in PvT is get my upgrades. Like last season I had a PvT game. I think it was my first week, and I completely didn't get any upgrades at all. Like my units were 0-0 for the whole game, but I still managed to win it just from sheer number of macro and units. But you know, it's good to get those upgrades. I believe it's +2 you want. Dragoons will kill tanks in 1 less hit.
Yeah, looks like there's a drop there. Yep. Nice little drop.
Okay. Good moves, delaying the Protoss mining. So now that, I mean, Psionic can do this, now that he's max, just like keep taking bases, keep making gateways around the map. I don't mind this, even though he's max. He doesn't have to force an engage on the Terran. He can just like gobble up all the resources on the map, just build massive amounts of gateways. It's kind of like on the Terran to kind of stop the Protoss from getting away with all this. Nice EMP. Okay, gets one of the ARBs.
That's a big move out.
Yeah.
So managing this battle is really, really important when you're learning. This is done really well. I think you might have overmade Dooms here. Like,
yeah, that is a lot of
more
Dooms.
zealots.
But some very nice stasis, yeah. He gets that Science Vessel, he gets, looks like a group of 9 tanks here in 2 stasis. So
yeah.
he does clean that up, and now he just reset that count for kakaonib. Like you can see, he's 50 supply ahead now. He's got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bases around the map. He's got multiple gateways. He's able to push up here into Fox's 3rd, and there's not a lot he can really do about it. When these units unthaw,
he needs to be more careful. Like there's no rush. There's no rush to get past that, you know. The tanks are slow as hell anyway, so may as well space them out. Push slowly.
So the tanks do unfreeze. Looks like he will probably be able to clean up what's left here. But, I mean, Psionic is going to be able to max out again pretty quickly. Actually, you know what? He's only on... Okay, never mind. There's a whole bunch of gates down here. I was going to say, he's not on a lot of gates. He has a few in the main there, I didn't know, so he should be able to max out fairly quickly. I might like to see a few more gates than that. But it's not bad. Denying the space, always good.
Yeah, and good bang from both of them.
Yeah, you might look at it and say, boy, these guys have a lot of money. But Protoss was maxed for a while, and it's fine to get a little bit of money when you're maxed outlet as Protoss. Like I said, you don't have to force the engage. You just bank up the money, and having that much money banked up, you can remax really quickly if you have enough gates.
Oh, you should have seen DeWalt. Well, you'll watch it later. DeWalt versus Biol from Have At You today. DeWalt had, I think, over 10,000 banked.
Oh, jeez.
And it was just crazy, the defensive capability of Terran.
Yeah, sure, I'll definitely have to check those games out later. And command center going down. Unfortunate. Fox is trying to take this low ground base here, but looks like Psionic is going to be able to deny it. Nice little moves, like, oh, and we have a recall here too at the 3rd base, which is almost out of minerals anyway, so. Psionic kind of attacking Terran in multiple locations, kind of forcing him to split up his army. Can't really commit. A couple of CCs just sitting around here. This is actually looking really bad for Fox all of a sudden. He's got these clunky tanks trying to move to defend at multiple locations, but he's losing a lot during all of this. Well, Psionic is still maxed.
Yeah, he's not got any mining anymore, and he's basically out of money.
Yeah.
So it's looking pretty rough. That first battle, I think, was a big deciding factor. He needed to secure that fourth base, that third gas. Very, very important.
Yeah. It just allows you to get more.
I'm actually kind of surprised that he's already. Well, I guess losing mining is a big deal on any base, but I'm actually surprised that it feels this far behind, you know.
Yeah.
But he did lose a lot of SUVs. That goes to a lot of supply, because I'm looking at the supplies, and Psionic has just been able to macro up, I guess, rather quickly.
Yeah. The one thing Fox does have going, he does have a pretty sizable army out here still, and he's got a bunch more tanks rallying in. But if Psionic is able to dwindle this army down and kill this whole army, I don't think there's going to be anything left for Fox to do. He's basically got to make this army work for him at this time, or he's going to be done.
Or you can just camp forever, secure your third and fourth base, and then hope that your 3/3 army can crush.
Yeah, but look at the bank there for Psionic. He's got 6k minerals and gas banked up. Oh, nice stasis, getting 3 of those vessels and a couple of tanks. And yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't agree with this move out. Like, it's too risky. There's not enough vultures. And he probably wants to go to 12 o'clock.
Yeah.
So that he can at least take that base.
Yeah, that's something I was going to say. I'd like to have seen him maybe push the mining bases at Protoss. Kind of cut off his income. Granted, he does have a big bank, so he could remines a couple of times still.
Yeah, I guess his thinking is to take this middle base here, so that might not be a bad idea.
Expand behind his push, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's something I definitely tell lower level Terrans too, is when you're attacking or pushing out, you can kind of try and expand behind it too. You're protecting your base while kind of sieging up the Protoss. But yeah, I think this is just about over here for Fox. He's got very little mining. He has reestablished his fourth base, but he's got basically no army, and yeah, okay, he's gonna call the GG there.
Good game.
Yeah, nice game. That will bring us into a game 3. First game 3 we have tonight. Alright, I wonder what map Fox will pick here. Alright. Alright. Looks like Fox's map choice will be Fighting Spirit.
Oh, I watched the first 3 episodes of Cobra Kai yesterday.
Oh,
have you heard about this show?
I have not. How was that?
It's 34 years later, 34 years after Karate Kid. It's awesome.
So I take it it's about martial arts?
Yeah, and it's got the same actors. It's amazing. It's on YouTube.
Wax on?
Totally check it out. Wax on, wax off.
Wax on? Wax off?
So pumped, and he's like, I'm gonna teach you karate.
Karate.
Yes!
You ready to learn some karate from YouTube series?
Yeah. Some karate montages.
Yeah.
All right, Fighting Spirit. Not a surprise.
Yeah, yeah. Before we jump into the last game here, just remind everyone once again, you are watching a CPL, a Coach Pupil League, as you can probably see on my stream. League for lower and mid-level players to get coaching and help. It's a team league where you get together with teammates and play against other teams once a week.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
you still got a wait list, right? So like if people are late to join, you can still join the wait list.
Yeah, so if you want to get involved, you can always message myself, Laser Snipe, or Snipe on Discord, or Python, and send us your information, and we'll put you on the wait list, maybe get you on a team. Hey Tempest, thanks for the follow. Also, before we get into this last game, I wanted to mention, do you do like a project or something on Team Liquid too, right? Where you collect a bunch of VODs and stuff? I think you wanted to mention something about that.
Well, not really.
Okay. Okay, well, we don't have
if you're a Terran player, it's still relevant, but all the other VODs got taken down. But look up FP VOD catalog, and then you can find like 200 plus games of Flash that are annotated with
Yeah.
the build orders. So it's pretty solid.
Pretty good resource for Terrans maybe looking to learn the build orders a little better or something.
Yeah.
You have it marked down where all the different or what build order Flash was
Yeah,
up against and what he did or something.
like what they're playing against. You can look up like 111. You could look up like 1111 FD push or power FD, and so there's like 9 different FD games, so you can look at how they flesh out in different situations. So that's kind of the nice thing about it.
Yeah, very cool. So I guess if you're a young Terran player or a new Terran player, look out for that, or any Terran player really. I mean, Flash is the best Terran player in the world, so great guy to learn from. So, all right. So let's jump into the final game of the night, or final game from us for the night. There will be some more casts later on. This is
That's right.
Fox versus Kakaonib, or Fox, aka Kakaonib versus Psionic.
A troop of streams and casters and
yeah, we got a lot of casting going on.
Have you
through the preseason games here. Pretty excited. All right. So spawning here on the top left, taking that last game, tying the series up and forcing a game 3, we have our brown Protoss, PsyonicReaver.
Yes, and on the bottom left, we have the feisty Terran, Fox.
Fox the feisty Terran, I like it. So, yeah, we have game number 3. Everything's on the line here. Fighting
G3.
Spirit.
I wonder if there's going to be a 2-fac coming out.
Maybe. Is that what you would do in a G3?
Fighting Spirit. I like Fighting Spirit for a 2-fac.
Mm-hmm. And why is that? A little bit harder for Protoss to defend, maybe?
Because you got the ramp, you can deny the scout, and the bridge isn't too narrow. The rush distances are pretty close. So all that coming together is pretty good.
Okay. Yeah, I know I do not like facing 2-facs. Pretty strong build. I mean, it depends what build Sonic chooses to go for. Having seen him go for DTs in both games 1 and 2, I might be a little bit more hesitant as Kakaonib. Like, oh, is this guy going to go DTs again and just, counter my 2-fac?
2-fac.
Hey, if Dark really wants to see the 2-fac, maybe he'll do it. We'll have to wait and see.
Watch him go like 13 CC or something. Like, no!
I'm just going to go extra greedy. But, yeah.
I don't know when a 13 CC would work against Protoss. I don't think. Maybe crossing field. If they choose not to go gate first.
Yeah, do it in the back. Across the
Yeah.
field. I think on crossing
Back
field,
door.
there's almost like this thing where, like, okay, we're both just going to fast expand in the back door and go from there. But,
yeah, there's so many mind games on that map because of that.
Yeah, because of that option. It's like, okay, well, he's going to fast expand. I think I'm going to fast expand, and maybe I'll just proxy him and kill him.
Yeah, and then you got like a 9 gate versus a 8 racks or something.
Oh. All right.
So we got standard builds coming out. Gas from the Terran and similar from the Protoss.
Yeah, we'll have to watch to see if he pulls any SCVs off gas once he starts that first factory. Could be an indicator if he's going for a 2-fac, and it looks like he does pull the SCVs off, so I don't think we're going to be seeing that 2-fac coming out this game.
P-toss. Have you ever heard anyone say P-toss instead of Protoss? P-toss.
Yeah, I've seen a P-toss.
I've never heard it.
I've seen a toss.
Oh, look at this.
Oh, and who called that? Another Citadel, so we are going to see those fast Dark Templar coming out of Psionic again. Probe on the ramp to kind of block. I think that should send up some red flags here for Fox. Like, okay, he's blocking this early again with a probe. Whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, and he hasn't actually a full block either.
Let's see what he gets. Let's see what kind of info he gets.
That is a bit unfortunate. And he is going to scout it. Okay. Oops. Really good for Fox there. I mean, seen that, so he should know exactly what's coming here and be able to prepare properly.
Yeah, I mean, this is still okay. DT expand is totally legit.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I imagine we'll just see Psionic go into a DT expand here, just take his Nexus shortly after, get those DTs out, and maybe transition into more of a macro game here.
Yeah. I mean, even if you scout it, it's always just fills you with paranoia as a Terran, because
Oh yeah.
your scouting ability this early is very limited, or your observing, let's say. You have to rely on mines, and they're pretty good. I mean, you lay infinity mines in front of your net, and you're usually pretty safe.
And
But if they get past that, and then there's no turret, or there's one turret, then it's a little bit like, oh shit, can't screw up, you know?
and then it's like in the back of your mind too. Like, are these DTs? When are these DTs coming? Are they gonna kill me? Like, do I have enough
Yeah.
protect against it?
It's
If
the
you overcommit,
suspense.
yeah, if you overcommit to it, maybe Protoss gets ahead that way. But we do have the mines being upgraded first, and that vulture just about finished, or halfway down there. So he's gonna be able to get mines out in plenty of time to deal with any early DTs. Oh,
Yeah.
we actually have a double expand coming out behind this by Psionic, taking a second quick Nexus here.
Interesting choice.
I guess
Very
maybe he's
creepy.
thinking, you know, yeah, I think he's probably thinking, okay, this guy scouted my DT. He's going to be preparing a lot defensively. Like, he's going to be getting mines. He's going to be getting turrets. As we can see, like, he's not going to be looking to do any pressure against my DT. So he's probably feeling safe to take this. Like, okay, he's not going to move out. I went DTs. He saw it. He's not going to move out. I'm just going to take a quick third next and get ahead economically after that.
Ooh, he needs one more mine on this DT. Oh, it got in. Yeah,
Uh,
this is what I'm talking about.
That vulture does have some mines, you know? So he could just put out a mine on the ramp or try and get one off on the DT.
He does
And
got the fast
okay.
third.
Okay. Oh, that mine didn't kill the DT.
I guess he had already regen some shield.
Yeah, I didn't see exactly what happened there.
Oh, this is so awful.
So the DT's still being annoying. It's gonna delay the CC from finishing. No, okay, it finishes just in time. That's nice. Another DT doing some harassment. So even having scouted, he's doing a little bit of damage with this. And kakaonib or Fox is aware here of this third base from Psionic. Getting a couple of early cannons to defend against vultures, I suppose. Alright, the DTs do go down. So he should be able to secure this natural just fine.
Yeah, I guess he's not comfortable enough with just the DTs to defend his probes. So he decided to get the cannons.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that. Like, it feels like it might be a waste. But he is continuing to make these DTs. I mean, I guess if you have no Dragoons to kind of fend off vultures, you need something ranged. I just don't know if maybe Dragoons would have been a better choice instead of spending the money in the forge and the cannons this early. But again, this could be an older build that I'm not as familiar with. He knows the way to play it, so I'm not going to judge it too harshly.
Yeah. I think I would go for like a 3 or 4 effect as a Terran here. It is a bit risky because you're going to rely on whatever skins you have. But seeing the DT investment in the cannons and the timing of his third, I would think like, yeah, I can probably at least get to his brazier and pressure him.
Yeah, I think that would definitely be an option. Like, with him taking this really greedy third, throw down a few factories and put on some pressure. Maybe you can siege up outside of his bridge, like you're saying, and do something there. Oh,
Yeah,
kakaonib
and I like that he still got 4 Marines, so that helps with the push. You could make a bunker.
Oh yeah. Even just tank a little bit of extra damage if he's low on units. Always good. Almost got that vulture in to kill a few probes, but
Yeah, that's great, man.
you know.
Using everything you can to keep an edge or reduce the edge that the opponent has. It's good stuff.
Yeah, I've liked Fox's use of vultures in this series. Like, we saw him get a lot of damage done, especially in game 1 with those vultures. Killing a bunch of
Yeah,
probes.
man. That's the best, isn't it? Probes dying, it's the best.
I thought we
It's
agreed it
amazing.
was
I love
sad. It was
so
didn't we
nice.
agree? Didn't we agree it was sheep dying and you were sad?
I don't remember that.
Come on. Definitely. I got proof. It was
remember much.
back in the cast.
I'll
Sheep
watch the
dying.
VOD later.
Yep.
No, I won't.
Oh, no. Poor sheep dying.
This DT is just getting walked past. It's kind of hilarious. They're just walking past them. I was like, hello, sir.
Like, I don't care.
See, this is good. I like this push here. Like, this is... There's not much here for Psionic right now.
Yeah, he has just a couple of Dragoons and 1 DT.
Yeah.
if maybe he had a couple more factories of production, this would have been a lot scarier. Nice scan. Is he gonna get that DT? Yes. Okay. But it's still gonna do, like, Psionic's kind of just trying to buy time. That's why he's pulling these Dragoons back. He doesn't want kakaonib to get in a good position and be able to.
This is great. This is great. He just needs to. He needs to be doing vultures. Like, he's out here, make vultures for reinforcement.
Yeah, just bring vultures in with this. So it looks like he's gonna siege up. Oh, you don't want to lose that tank though. Yeah. Yeah, that's good. Yeah. If he can take out this third base, that'd be a really good position. He does have a couple of DTs, so I'm not sure
he might get on top of the tanks. It's gonna be really bad.
I'd like to see how quick is the
if he gets up the
scan.
ramp, that's great.
Okay.
Yeah, that was great moving him up.
He does get one of the tanks though. Oh, two of the tanks. So I don't think he's gonna lose this Nexus.
Yeah, this is where the cannon investment may have been a bad choice. Because blocking that off with the pylons and getting goons sooner would have given a more flexible defense.
Yeah. So he did force Protoss to pull all those probes. He did lose the cannons he built. I don't think he got too many probes. So overall,
I built a scout.
Oh, what?
There's a scout on the map.
What? We got the first scout of the CPL. This CPL 3. There it is. Oh, interesting.
Mark this day.
All right. Week 2, first cast. We got our first scout.
I think he's like, shit, I gotta Stargate. I gotta build something, man.
Yeah, let's just build any attacking unit I can.
And you know what? There's no anti-air right now, so this could stop this push.
Yeah, one scout does have low DPS on ground units, so maybe a couple more. See him go up to 2 or 3 scouts. Add a little bit of extra damage.
Oh no.
Oh, this
Nice.
DT getting on top of the tanks though. Good scan. I like the constant pressure Fox has been putting on though. Like, he knows Psionic's still low on units. Just he wants to keep putting on the pressure on, kind of not let him get his eco going.
It's similar to PvZ, where like it's easy to sit back and be defensive, but it pays to be offensive at the right times, and he's done a good job of that.
Yeah, like we were talking about earlier, if you just sit back and let the Protoss grow, you could be in a bad spot, but when the Protoss is still weak, the scout's gonna get a kill. Hey, take that.
Yes. That's so awesome.
Yeah, that's great.
You never see it, man.
Yeah, I mean, he's gonna continue to be able to be annoying with the scout. He will eventually kill the tanks if the cannon doesn't do it first, but hey.
Yeah, so what's the follow-up here from Fox? Still on 3 factories. He went to, so he's got his 3rd CC, that's good. And he's got his starport with science vessel building. So he's gotten up the whole tech tree.
Yeah, fine. I imagine he scanned the Arbiter tech and was like, okay, I need those arbs. What would you like to see? Do you like him continue putting on this pressure here? Looks like he's sending out a bunch more tanks.
Yeah, I mean, there's not a whole, like, if you scan the main, you'll see 5 gates. I think factories could have come down sooner. Like, he's queued up a whole bunch of tanks. So he could be even higher factory count than Protoss, and that's just an easy, oh hell yeah, I'm gonna pressure him.
Oh, look at that scout. It's gonna add that extra damage to that command center now. Having a good air attack. Oh, I hope he doesn't lose this CC to this. Okay, he's gonna pull out with the Protoss units.
Yeah, he's done great with the pressure. It's fallen apart a little bit back at home, but he's picking it back up.
Oh, here defense matrix going off on one of those tanks. This is definitely an interesting game. He's got like this Protoss has this like ragtag little random group of units going out. Fox is trying to push pressure with just a couple of tanks here. I'd like to see his whole army with this. 4 tanks out in the open is kind of, you know, they're kind of exposed. He could lose them easy, and that's a bad trade for Terran here. Okay, he's bringing up some more units now, which is nice.
And this scout is still just running wild, man.
Hey, he's got 4 kills on it now. 5 kills. Oh, we got it down. I wonder. Come on, pick off the vessel. I guess he wants to stop those turrets from coming up. And He's had that arbiter tech for a while, I must say, but he hasn't built any additional arbs. So it's almost like a waste at this point. Like, if you're gonna get it, make the arb. I imagine he just forgot or something. Maybe that's what the down is, but...
Yeah, there's been a ton. It's been a very micro-heavy game.
Yeah, there's been a lot of pressure, so he's definitely been dealing with everything else. But, hey, he's still trying to pick off these tanks with these scouts, or with this scout. Hero scout, man, 7 kills. It hasn't, I mean, he stopped all the turrets. He hasn't been able to do anything to the scout. He doesn't really care, it's just like kind of doing a little damage, it's kind of funny. Okay.
I want to see more scouts.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing a couple more scouts, to be honest. But losing that Nexus does hurt. He's still on 3 bases, but this 3rd base is barely saturated here. And he's going to lose a bunch of probes here at the 12 o'clock as well. Fox sneaking in a couple of vultures. I like what he's doing, you know, being active on the map where he can. Just denying Protoss the money here. He killed this base. Like, I'm liking his position here. Like, Protoss is going to run out of money in his main fairly soon. He doesn't have great production or great saturation anywhere. And, I mean, this pressure is working out well for Fox. Look at this. He's sending out a few more tanks here, knowing, like, he doesn't want to let Protoss get, you know, stabilized. He's just going to keep pressuring and pressuring, and eventually Protoss looks like he's going to fall apart here.
Yeah, it's kind of a matter of time now. He's keeping it alive, you know. I think it's kind of a matter of lack of reinforcements and these late factories that are not allowing Fox to close out the game.
We do have that 2nd scout now, so you got your wish, another scout coming into the game.
Yeah, it's working, right?
Yeah, you got 10 kills on that one scout. It's more than paid for its expensive cost. But I feel like the longer this game goes on, the better this is going to be for Fox.
Plus, I told Psionic I'd pay him $10 if he built scouts.
Oh, so that's what's going on here.
I owe you $10.
A little bit of collusion or something? Some talk here? No. Oh, scouts running into the first thing that can hit him. A turret, run away! Yeah, I mean, Fox has higher supply. I feel like
I'm not comfortable with the vulture production from Fox, though. Like, he needed those extra facts for that particularly. I mean, it's worked out, but in other situations, it won't.
Yeah, he is definitely a bit low on the vultures. Now, he's pretty tank heavy. One Goliath now to kind of hit these scouts that are still being annoying. He's getting some value. I mean, 14 kills on those two. Meanwhile,
I like how this Goliath has a chaperone too, just following him around.
Bring the tanks. He is getting his saturation up, but they're both mining off 3 base, and actually, Psionic's only mining off 2 base, barely 2 base. He isn't mining from that 12 o'clock base yet. So I just think like the longer this goes on, the better it is for Fox. Like the further Fox is getting ahead at this point. I don't know if there's a lot Psionic can do. He's gonna have to pull something out to get back in this game. Like especially if he loses this base, I think it's gonna be pretty much over for him.
Yeah. Yeah, top right's keeping him in the game for sure. And it's hardly defensible.
Yeah. Nice defense matrix on that tank. Oh my god. All those zealots just going down. A couple of DTs trying to do something, but with the science vessels, they're not going to be able to do anything here. And it looks like this base isn't going to be able to be saved. Like, it looks like he was setting up to take the other base in the top right as well, but there's no Nexus down there yet. And I don't think he should really put one down there now, knowing that this base is about to die. He is going to try a counterattack at the 9 o'clock here. I don't mind this, actually. Like, there's not a lot of units here to defend, and if he can take this base out or deny mining, it'll slow Fox out. But saying that, he does have a bunch of units coming, and I don't think he's going to actually lose this base.
Yeah, when it's just zealots, it's not that hard to defend.
A few Dragoons in there would have been nice, or even some Dark Templar, forceful scans. If okay, he does have a lot of scans, so he would have been fine, but yeah, I'm not liking Psionic's position. Like, he's basically out of money now. His main is just about mined out. He doesn't have a natural Nexus. His 3rd Nexus only has 2 probes mining at it. Like, what can he do at this point? He's trying some counterattacks, but they're not finding any damage. He's just throwing away all his units. for nothing here. Like, and meanwhile, Fox has this big army of tanks. I would, like you said, to see some more vultures or Goliaths with this to help buffer for it. He's gonna lose a couple of tanks.
What do you think? Is this because of? I know it's controversial, but is this a thing of Tasagi, or what's going on here?
There's probably always a bit of Tasagi involved. But,
You son of a.
No, I don't. I'm not too big on the Tasagi thing, being a Protoss myself. But no, I don't know. I think.
Is there shame? Is there shame with being Protoss?
No, definitely
No,
not.
It's just pride.
All pride. Protoss pride.
Pride.
The Protoss pride. Double P, man.
Yeah, no, I think this is really well paid by Fox. You know, he figured I need to take some risk with these attacks, and they were good decisions.
Yeah, well, it comes down to like the beginning. Like Fox, okay, he scouted the opening, right? He scouted the fast Dark Templar, he scouted the fast third. So he's like, okay, this guy's not gonna have a lot of units. He spent so much money investing into tech and this fast third that he's not gonna have an army count to deal with my army, and that's just been like the whole game, right? He just continually put the pressure on Psionic, never allowing him to really secure himself and secure an economy to get to a point where he has a big enough army to fight the Terran off. And because it just slowly snowballed, and eventually Terran was able to run him over here, right? He's still, you know, being a little bit careful, but if you look at the supplies, like Fox is more than double the supply of Psionic at the moment. And yeah, okay, we are gonna get the GG.
GG.
Your macro is rough for me. Yeah, I mean, Fox did a good job macroing in that game, I will say, but
yeah, the only thing is, like you can afford to even cut tank for half a second to add a factory, and then because you have excess minerals, then that's your vulture reinforced, and it just helps a lot.
Yeah, for sure.